Hi everybody, and welcome to the monthly astrology snapshot for the lunar month beginning at the new moon in Aries, March 31st or April 1st, depending where you are in the world. My name is Paula Shaw and I offer these snapshots every month just to give you guys an overview of the main astrological themes playing out in the world, and also with a strong focus on the new and full moon. So, how are you all going out there? It's heavy, it's intense. The theme for this lunar month is no matter how much it hurts, we must still go on. And there are some really strong, bigger dynamics at play this lunar month. But let's start with the new moon in Aries, because this has got a lot of themes, a lot of complexity to it. What's really important with this new moon in Aries is that Chiron and Mercury are actually conjunct this new moon. And Chiron is an asteroid that a lot of astrologers have worked with and noticed over time that it is a place within our natal chart that is connected to our core wounds. So when Chiron's involved in a lunation, we can expect that some of the themes to do with that lunation will be around our core wounds. So this new moon is in Aries, and Chiron is the wounded healer. So you could even see this as the wounded warrior. We're hurting. So many people are hurting. It is hard. The dynamics are intense. You'd have to be living under a rock, or hiding somewhere out in the forest to not know, or to not be hurting on some level, even if it's not happening to you. So many people are feeling just bewildered, overwhelmed, and generally fatigued. So this new moon is not coming in as a normal new moon in Aries would. The new moon in Aries is always the first new moon of the astrological new year. And usually it's a time of initiating new projects, activating new things. But in the context of the greater cycles and the greater dynamics that we all know are happening, we have to have some space, or create some space for our pain first, to grieve, to really go with this wounded healer. A lot of the collective shadow is being stirred up. It was in March of 2020 that we had the Saturn-Pluto conjunction, which coincided with events that ripped through the fabric of societies across this whole planet. It's the archetypal themes of the planetary cycles have been focused on this deep restructuring of the structures that hold societies together. They've been shaken to the core, and we're still in that process, as I've shared in all of these snapshots. I'm reminding us of what the bigger narrative is, the bigger context. And here we are at this new moon. We're wanting to, initiate new goals, new intentions, new aspirations, and you can still do that, but you can't do that without first stopping and just giving some space to the pain, giving some space to the places where it just hurts, where we know things aren't so good right now on Earth. And truthfully, astrologically speaking, these dynamics aren't going to change anytime soon. I'm sorry. For me, I find it empowering to know that there are greater cycles at play. It helps me be more prepared personally, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically. I can take some steps towards, okay, this is going to keep going. Who do I need to be? And at this new moon in Aries, it's your moment to stop and go, who do I want to be through these times? Do I want to stay in my heart? Do I want to stay in love? Do I want to stay with wisdom? Do I want to connect with compassion? And compassion will be strongly activated this lunar month. And that is because we have being activated. And we're in the energy of this now, but the grand Jupiter-Neptune conjunction in Pisces. This is a it's a roughly 165 years cycle, initiating and seeding in a whole new dynamic. So this is a really powerful moment to open your heart to compassion. Jupiter expands and Neptune is compassion at the highest expression. So this lunar month and within this new moon, and it will intensify at around, go into an exact conjunction, April 8th. So that's a moment to really open your heart, to really connect with the divine, to the ultimate heart where we are all in this together. So yes, there's making space for the pain and the sadness, but don't give up. At the Aries new moon, really initiate that wounded warrior, that wounded healer. Chiron, the archetype, was constantly wounded. He never healed. It's a whole mythology. It's a whole story about his journey. And it was that wound that never healed that made him the world's greatest healer, because he could truly empathize with those. However, getting too caught in the wound and too deep in the empathy can give us compassion fatigue, where we're no longer able to see clearly or support ourselves, the people closest to us, and the world around us. So again, at this new moon, make some space for the pain and the grief and the sadness, but then really pull yourself up and seed in some intentions that really will keep you going. And also keep in mind that this is the first new moon of the zodiacal new year, of the astrological new year. So this is a moment to seed in something, just one really potent intention that will carry you through the whole year. It could be quite a general aspiration, intention, but one thing, I have people in my world, one thing they're going to really focus on is going beyond their fear. Being brave, keeping your heart open and not giving up. So then we move to the full moon in Libra. Now, just a note, this full moon is activating and opening up eclipse season. Yay, just when we thought things couldn't get more intense, we go into eclipses. So this full moon in Libra is potent. It has a strong aspect from Pluto. And Pluto is always about transformation. But when you're dealing with Pluto, there's always something you have to surrender up, something you must let go of so that you can be renewed, so that something new can come into your world. You've got to surrender something to Pluto. So as we move into that full moon in Libra, we're getting ready to really work within the themes of Libra, and based on all of the things that I'm piecing together, this full moon is going to be a moment to heal your relationship dynamics. So we've had a very strong Venus, Mars dance playing out for weeks, and some of you may remember that I was talking a lot about, and a lot of astrologers were talking about the heavy Venus retrograde that we began this year with in Capricorn, where she was going deep into the underworld and really reconfiguring. And she's been in this dance, as I mentioned last month, with Mars, where we were looking at this war, Mars, on our values, Venus. So at the beginning of this month, Venus and Mars are still close together, and then they move into an aspect where Saturn comes in between them at the beginning of this month. In fact, it's around the new moon in Aries. And you can think of Saturn as the wise, elder mediator that comes in when the young couple, the young lovers, Mars, the masculine, and Venus, the feminine, are having a silly fight. And the older, wise person comes into the middle and it's like, hey, you two, stop it. You need to sort that out. So at the collective level, it'll be very interesting to see how Saturn, between sitting right in the middle of Mars and Venus, shows up. Is there some intervention in world issues? Is there a reckoning? And maybe even at a personal level, is there some wisdom that wants to come through with regard to your personal relationships and the dance between the masculine and feminine in your life. So, you know, a lot of us have been through a very rough time with our relationships. And don't just think of romance too, because when we're talking about Libra, we're really talking about all our relationships and our relationships to all things. So with this full moon in Libra and Pluto in there very strong, we really have an opportunity to have some healing. At the full moon in Libra, Venus is the ruler of this full moon, and she's actually in a beautiful aspect, and she's in Pisces at this time, so she's starting to heal, and she's away from Mars. She's actually getting some reprieve, and she's exalted. She's really potent and really happy, and she is ready for some, you know, uncompromising compassion. So at this full moon, it can be a real time to just kind of go, I need to just stop this dynamic if you're struggling with your relationships, and work with the full moon to really let something go. Is your pride in the way? Are you holding on to some pain from the past that you just need to drop it? With world events being so extreme and so big, is it really important or necessary to hold on to the pain? Maybe at this full moon you can work with a ritual and just let it go. Just release it. So at this full moon also, it's important to point out that the nodes are in aspect. And when we have the nodes in aspect, that means that there's something very karmic. So we have these signatures this lunar month of unavoidable change, great karma. As I've said before, humanity cannot skip this step. We cannot bypass what's going on. We have to deal with it at the deepest level. It's super karmic. Things are changing and they're not going to stop changing anytime soon. As I have shared with you multiple times, there is a big aspect in October, which is really letting me know, and I want to share this with you, that these big structural changes, the shifts in the power structures and the people that are in power, that's going to continue on until October. So like I said before, you can prepare, you can journey with this new moon in Aries. This lunar month is your opportunity to decide, who do you want to be through this time. My Tibetan Buddhist teachers say that during a time like this where everything is intensified, it is more profound. It is a greater opportunity to practice compassion, to practice wisdom. Because when everything's peaceful, it's easy and we can be complacent. But when things are amplified and the karma is amplified, which the signatures of this lunar month suggest it won't be calming down, that's when you can really get serious about your practice. And with this Jupiter-Neptune conjunction, this is a potent moment this month to engage in spiritual practices, to engage in anything that keeps your heart open, to evolve yourself at the individual level. At the Aries new moon, it's okay to seed in intentions and aspirations and make commitments that make you strong. Because as you're stronger, your world will be truly. I understand this dynamic of, you know, information overload, this dynamic of the Mercury Chiron conjunction at the new moon. Like, let go of looking at all the negative media. Get yourself right as a way to be in service to help the collective narrative. So take some time out at the new moon, take some time out at the full moon to really get in and get real and choose who you want to be and let go of the pain. Don't give up this month, guys. Please don't. And if you're interested in journeying more in ritual, check out my website and my links for the events that I'm doing at the full moon in Libra, where you can come in and I'll take you on a journey to heal that karma. So yeah, if you feel you want to go deeper, please join me. But I'm sending you all love, and I can't wait to see you all next lunar month. Bye guys. Take care.